Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, how are my snipers doing today? I hope you're doing fantastic. Listen, today we're going to be talking about Kaspa, but before we do, ladies and gentlemen, if you're new, make sure to like and subscribe. Listen, my goal is 3,500 subscribers by the end of the year, and not only that, but I'm going to be trying to make us a lot of money this bull run. If that sounds good, then become a sniper. You know what I'm saying? Listen. You know, I've been hearing a lot of worries about Kaspa, a lot of worries in general about the crypto market, but mainly I've been seeing and hearing people talk about Kaspa. I've had, people in my community mention Kaspa to me. I've had people in my comments on Twitter. So here's the thing, right? I think there were some other YouTubers that said, they're personally getting out of Kaspa, hence why it created all this motion and stuff. But I still want to talk about it just in a general perspective. Look, here's the thing, right? We know and expected Kaspa to be going lower. All right. First of all, okay, let's just get that straight out the way. We knew Kaspa is going to be getting lower just because of the structure, just because we know there's a double bottom. And when you look at it from a market maker perspective, they like sweeping liquidity. All right. That is just the truth at the end of the day. This is why I personally don't trade support and resistance. And they know there is just money sitting around these double bottoms, leverage traders. And they're going to take them out, right? We talked about how they're going to take them out. We talked about how, there's a high chance and probability, we're going to be going somewhere into this candle, right? I've been calling pretty much for 8.5 cents for, ever since we lost momentum and the market started to reverse about like 2 weeks ago or so. I started to say, hey, this 8.5 cent area looks very, very probable. Now, I still think that is the case. There is literally no indication that Kaspa or anything will be reversing. We did get baited a little bit on, Bitcoin, right? We had a strong daily candle, but this is why I prefer looking at the weekly in general, because we can see right now the weekly does not look great. Plus, it's a weird time. It's the holidays. Plus, we can see on Bitcoin too, there's pretty much a triple bottom, right? Pretty much a quadruple bottom. And I was like, there's no way this does not get swept, all right? And yeah, so I still think that's going to happen. We obviously have to see how the weekly closes, because the daily can show you one thing, but then the weekly can do another. So what does that mean? Well, like I said, that means if I'm right about this getting swept, if Bitcoin is going to be going lower, that means things like Kaspa are obviously going to be suffering. Now, in the bigger picture, am I worried? The answer is no. I am personally not worried. If you're holding Kaspa and you're worried about price going down, just know the whole market's going down. Okay. Second, people are worried because, and I guess rightfully so, right? Kaspa has been going sideways for pretty much a year now. Okay. And I get it, how it must seem when you see your value, right? Let's say you have $10,000 near the bottom, right? Somewhere, let's say near the bottom. And then you see it go up to, let's just say 20,000. And in between that year, you just see it go bounce from 10 to 20,000 all the time, right? And then you see other coins, like Render and other, like many other coins had breakouts during March, April, and even a little bit of May, right? We see these coins go from like $2, $3 to 14. We see at the time Myro did great, Turbo was doing great. You see all these coins doing great, and you're ranging between, 10 to 20 cents. It's a little concerning, right? It makes you feel like it's the end of the world, like you made the wrong choice. But ladies and gentlemen, if we talk about what is great for a coin, even though Kaspa has not broken out, correct? Even though, you could have technically made more gains if you held another coin, you have to realize that consolidation zone is one of the best things that can happen, right, to a coin. Because all that means is there's just going to be a massive, massive, massive breakout. And I still believe if it were just Kaspa alone, and if not everything was so tied to the Bitcoin market and manipulation and all this, the Kaspa itself was already ready to explode, ladies and gentlemen. All right. This Kaspa itself was extremely bullish. We have to remember that. But like I said, everything's tied to Bitcoin. When Bitcoin goes down, when the Bitcoin dominance goes up, the altcoins tend to suffer. So, that is why I personally think Kaspa, well, obviously that is why Kaspa took a hit. But I think Kaspa itself as a project, as when we see the zone, it is pretty much ready to go, right? For me, the final step right now is to sweep this liquidity. But I believe once we do, we are going to start rallying very quickly. We saw how in one day, right, we were pretty much at 10 cents. The next day, we hit 16. We saw how there could be a 60% increase in just a single day. Sorry, in the week. But still, that is insane, right? In just 1 week, it went up 60%. It would not surprise me if the same thing happened once we sweep liquidity, once the markets officially start reversing, right? We can see this is on a smaller level. So the cycle doesn't have to last that long. But Kaspa was always a type of coin that likes to consolidate a good amount of weeks before it broke out, right? A good amount of weeks before it broke out. You have to remember the fun part only lasts so long. The boring part is pretty much this. It's a sideways movement. It's the up and down. It's damn, we're going down. This looks scary, right? But I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, there is nothing fundamentally wrong with this coin. I know people are a little concerned about the Binance and the Coinbase exchange listings, right? But we've seen that Kaspa should be going on Binance in the very, very near future, based off what we talked about, how when they get listed for liquidity pool and other stuff, right? They pretty much, most coins right after that, a couple months later, get listed on Binance, right? We've seen how it's a high probability. So for me, I still think it is going to get listed at the end of the day. I still think, ladies and gentlemen, that there's nothing wrong with this coin. We know Kaspa fundamentally is easy a top 10 coin in this market, right? With I'm just gonna say top 10 without debating. There will always be those who debate, but you just get the general point. So for me, I can see your concern. You're seeing all these coins pump, pump, pump. But you have to remember, you know, every coin is different and every coin will pretty much bloom regardless. You have to look at your coin, right? Okay, we've been going sideways, but let's look at some other coins that fell off the face of the earth and have never bounced back and never will bounce back. Look at Hello Labs. This is so much more concerning. Imagine your coin, being at one point at 20 cents and now it is 90% down. That is not the case with Kaspa, right? And Hello Labs is done for unless they literally change something fundamentally. I talked about how this is a no coin, okay? And I talked about how from a technical analysis standpoint, it was going to be going down and down and down. Kaspa, nothing suggests that other than the liquidity sweep, okay? Let's look at GFAL, right? I know people are high in this coin, but it's not looking good. We can see back, let's say February, March time, we were pretty much 3.5 cents to 4 cents. Now we're under a cent, right? Think about it. If Kaspa was that way, that would be super, super scary, right? But Kaspa's not. Kaspa's just in the box on top, right? It's in the box on top. So it's just doing this. But if Kaspa broke down, to obviously it's going to break down to 8.5 cents now. But if it broke down to 6 cents, 5 cents, 4 cents, 3 cents, 2 cents, then I would be concerned for you guys, okay? But I am not. Sure, Kaspa doesn't have something like, for example, like Render does, right? Where, it had its pump, right? And its big bang, right? Sure, I understand that. And I understand why you're worried. But when you look at Render now, ever since pretty much, let's just say beginning of March, Render has been going down and sideways since March. It just had that rally, right? So, for me, I'm not worried, right? It doesn't really show any red flags in terms of a technical analysis standpoint. Right. We saw how much buying pressure there was in momentum, the moment, the market start to turn around. So I just believe next time around, Kaspa will pump. I understand why you would be worried, right? But you have to realize, why did you invest in Kaspa in the first place, right? Why did you invest in Kaspa in the first place? You have to look back at your conviction, right? You have to look back at the data. You have to look back at the facts and say, okay, If I know Kaspa can do this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it is really great at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then there's absolutely no reason why it should not be pumping during altcoin season. And that is pretty much the easiest and best way I can put it into perspective, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys did enjoy, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Goodbye.